If you talk to him, I'm busy. You'll never go with him again. God says, don't marry him. Don't marry him. Because there's something bad wrong somewhere. And in my daughter's case, they got married and it wasn't very long. He had to go, just a few weeks, he had to go to the exam for the Vietnam War. So he got drafted. She went to the base and stayed with him there until he took his basic training. Then they shipped him to Vietnam. And all of his buddies got killed except one or two. His company, Vietnam snipers. They had to crawl through the muck and the swamps every day on their hands and knees. And leeches would get all over them, biting them, and they couldn't raise up. He said, we'd be crawling real slow like this. The weeds are this high. You had to crawl real slow and easy. So trees way over yonder, they couldn't spot you. Look. You crawl real easy, and sometimes you hear something hit the water, like you'd drop something in the water. Plump. I'd look over, and my buddy's face would be half shot off. His jawbone sticking out, dead. Shot with a high-powered rifle. He said, everybody got killed. But my daughter was praying, and I was praying that God would help him, and his mother would come to church all the time when he's gone. She comes to the altar every Sunday. Every service she comes to the altar. Pray for my son. Pray for him. So we'd pray for him. He finally came back. But he wouldn't even go to church with her hardly, So she finally would get mad, and she said, well, I'm going to church this morning. Go back in the bedroom and say, I'm going to church. But if you don't want to go, it's up to you, but I am not going to hell with you. I'm going to church because I want to go to heaven. You can't go to heaven doing your own thing. You have to be faithful to God. Then he'd get scared because she told him that. He'd get up and get dressed and go to church with her. They went through several years of that. Just terrible. And he finally called me up one day, and he had a real good job. He said, I'm so miserable. I said, let me ask you a question. Do you ever feel like preaching? Zona told me you study the Bible a lot. He said, I study it for hours. I said, do you ever feel like you wanted to preach? He didn't even answer me on the phone. He waited a long time before he answered me. And I just waited for him to answer. After a while, a quivering voice came over the phone and said, all the time. All the time. Well, I said, on the job you got a good job, you got a good paying job, you get to school, you graduate with honors, and you've got a good job now for the rest of your life, but you can't learn to preach there. He said, I'm so miserable. I have to go to work every day.